Hi, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakudash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth to rule well. Just going to make this a quick video. You know, you have Vocab Malone and whoever the hell that guy is. It says Dr. Mark Clark. They made a video the other day. I had forgotten about this. But in this video that they made, all right, it was talking about UFOs. All right. Now, why would Vocab Malone go into UFOs, man? Why would he ever go into UFOs? All right. He doesn't believe what we believe. And we believe the UFOs, so-called UFOs, are actually IFOs, identifiable flying objects. All right, which are the chariots of Israel, man. All right. Then look up for your salvation draweth nigh. That's when you're looking up for the chariots, man. All right. And we'll know when that time comes, you know. But, you know, he made this whole live stream about UFOs and how it's possible for alien life. And it's possible for all this bullshit, man. All this bullshit he's trying to lead you, all right, to believe, all right, that it's possible for alien invasions. It's possible for aliens to be out there. It's possible for extraterrestrials and all this BS, all right. But when we say that these unidentifiable flying objects to Esau are actually the chariots of Israel, all right, that there's angels inside of those chariots, we're crazy, you know. We sound idiotic, you know. And there you have all these bunch of dumbasses that are commenting, all right, saying, yeah, I saw one the other day and I saw this and that, you know. I saw this and I saw that and I experienced this and I experienced that. But when we bring it out through the scriptures, all right, the scriptures talk about UFOs. Oh, no, that's not what that's talking about. All right, because you people don't know how to distinguish truth from fact, from fiction, from anything, man. You know, so when you talk about the Bible, all right, when you so-called Christians talk about the Bible, you talk about a fairy tale, and you don't believe in that fairy tale, man. So when it comes down to realistic shit, things that are happening in the world right now, and we talk about the Bible, you're like, no, don't. Those two are two separate things. That's what you damn 2/3 and Christians believe, man. That the Bible and real life are two different things when they're not. All right, they're not two different things, man. So let me start off with 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 9. And it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said to Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I am taken away from thee. And Elisha say, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing, nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. All right. And that's a form of, what's it called? A form of coin tossing. All right. Casting a lot. So how was that wicked? All right. He left it up until chances, man. All right. That's how he left it up into the chance that the Most High is going to say yes or no to that. You know? All right. You're going to receive a double portion of the Spirit if you see me be taken up by a chariot. All right. If you see me being taken up. If you don't see me, then you're not going to receive it. That's casting a lot. You know? That's a form of casting a lot, man. 2 Kings 2 and 10. He said, thou hast asked a hard thing, nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. You see? And it came to pass as they went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire, and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. Now, what does that sound like, man? You know, what does that sound like? You think it was a literal horse up in the sky, all right, and an actual chariot? You know, those chariots where the Egyptians ride upon with the military. You know, and the horse has to pull it around. You think that's how the Most High gets around? You think he gets around like Goku and jumps on a fucking a Nimbus cloud and starts riding around? You think that's how the angels get around? When you see a when you see a cloud passing by real quick, it's an angel? Come on, man. You know? That outside world, man, the outside worlds, they don't have the life, all right, that is here on earth. All right, because the main focus is here on earth. You know? I forgot what that terminology is called. All right, where geocentric, all right, geocentric, centric meaning center, geo meaning kind of like Pangea, all right, which is like life. You know, geocentric. We are the center of the universe, man. You know, and by center of the universe, I'm saying we are the attention. This is where the angels are paying attention to. This is where Yahweh Shai is looking upon. This is where Yahweh is looking upon. All right? The eyes of Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom. You see? This whole world is a rulership of Esau Edom, man. It was prophesied that it would be given to Esau. All right? So the eyes of the Most High are upon this world. Geocentric. All right? NASA made a bunch of experiments. All right, that they threw out those probes out in space, all right, to the outer layers of the Earth, all right, and what they found out was that all the stars were looking at the Earth, all right, and they got scared, all right, and they did away with that experiment. They said, no, you know, our technology is wacky. We're not gonna subscribe to what we found. They waited 10 years, and they sent it back up. All right, they sent a new probe back up into the heavens. And what happened? All the stars were facing the earth. And what they do? They did away with that project. No, our technology is still not as advanced as it should. We're going to wait a little bit. They did it recently in 2017 and 2018. And what did they find out? The same exact thing, man. That everything is fixed upon the earth. All right, everybody's eyes are on the earth. The things that are going on the earth is what the where the movie's going on. You know, when you're watching a movie, all right, you're not just gonna be staring at your popcorn. You're not gonna be over here staring at, you know, the fucking seats, at the ground. You're gonna be staring at that movie, man. Especially if it's a movie that is high in value. You know, you're gonna be glued to that movie, you know, to the screen. And that's what the earth is. The earth is that screen, man. You know? So, back in 2 Kings 2:11, and it came to pass as they went on and talked, and behold, there appeared a chariot. A chariot, chariots, chariot as in single, upper millstone. Horsemen, all right, horsemen and horses, all right. Who are the horsemen? Those are the riders, right? Those are the riders. Now, who are the horses? Those are the chariots. You know, the horses, just like a vehicle, man. You have horsepower, right? And every horse is measured by 14.3 or 14.5 horsepower. All right, every horse has 14.3 or 14.5 horsepower. All right, and no matter how strong Esau Edom makes his jets, makes his UFOs or his flying objects, I should say, no matter how strong he makes them, he always gets outdone by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and by the angels. All right, there was this story where there was a a man that was flying his fighter jet. All right, and he was with his co-pilot, and as they were, going in quick, they noticed that there was something that was getting closer to him and closer to him, and it was going at high velocities. All right, and they were already going at high velocities, but it wasn't a missile. So they started looking around and said it was coming from the bottom up. All right, now for something to be following a jet from the bottom, all right, from the earth up into the heavens, all right, it has to be following the jet at the same time, which is impossible. It's impossible. There is no missile like that. All right. So as it was following them, he said that it was going up. It was like 1,700 meters away, 14 meters, or 15, 16, 15, 14, 13, and it would stop. And it would stay at that velocity, all right, for a while. And they were trying to look and tilt the airplane so they can see where it was at, and they couldn't see anything. All right, but as they were tilting, which is sideways, all right, they're driving sideways. All right, they noticed that from the bottom of the airplane, which is now on the left side or the right side, it started getting closer again. All right, started getting closer and closer and closer. And at those velocities, there should not be anything that stays perfectly still and parallel to something else, man. There's no way. All right, there is no way. So this experienced pilot was scared out of his mind. He didn't know what it was. And finally, the numbers started dropping even more, getting closer and closer and closer, to the point where, there would have been, a person with a long hair would have been able to touch it, man. So he was really afraid at that time. And then he said that just like it was there, out of nowhere, it just went away. And then you have the United States, how they released those footages of actual UFOs that they have encountered. All right, because it's a for sure thing. Those so-called UFOs are out there, man, and they're not these little green dudes, these little gray dudes. All right, they're not these other beings from another, galaxy and another planet, and call themselves Earthlings as well. And it's nothing like that, man. They're angels. All right, they come from the heavens. All right. So they're horsemen, men riding, ass riders, camel riders. You see, a chariot. That's where they're at, man. So it says, chariot of fire. All right, and that fire represents what? One, it represents that power. All right, but that fire also represents the light. That circle inside of a circle. It says, and the horses of fire, and parted them both asunder, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. All right, Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven, which is what? That spinning effect that you see on those so-called UFOs. All right, they look like they're spinning. Metallic, they're spinning, advanced technology. All right, able to go to the speed of light. Able to be there 1 second and the next second be across the planet, man. Those are the chariots of the Most High. You see? Verse 12, and Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. All right, now let's look at that. My father, the chariot of Israel. All right, Vocab, which is a team, a chariot, millstone, and that's the spirit, man. Riders, all right, chariots, riders, all right. So it's the same thing. Chariots of Israel and the horsemen thereof. Horse, steed, horse, horseman. All right. So what do the angels ride upon, man? What do the angels ride upon that's so advanced in technology that it outdoes Esau, Edom, and his military, and any other military out there. All right, what is so advanced that the Most High has, that we have heard about? All right. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two pieces, you see? So as soon as he went up, he was gone. All right. That's why it says, and he saw him no more. In the same way that Yahweh Shai was taken, the same way he's going to come back, which is the next scripture that I'm going to get to, man. This is 2nd Ezra 13:3. And I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whosoever and wheresoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered the multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And that sea, all right, is the skies. All right, when the Lord comes back, when Yahweh Shai comes back, all right, it tells you he's coming back with the clouds of heaven, right? Well, it's not talking about literal clouds, you know? It's talking about the chariots of heaven, the chariots of the Most High. That's how Yahweh Shai is coming back. All right, so this man, this great man, this strong man in 2nd Ezra 13 is Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's when all the nations are going to turn around, stop the World War III and the bombing that's going to happen here in Babylon the Great, America. All right, and they're going to turn their attention to Yahweh Shai and try to destroy Yahweh Shai. All right, but Yahweh Shai is going to be with those exceeding numbers from heaven. All right, and they're gonna have those laser beams, those blasts, the blasts, the beams that come out of the chariot. You know, kind of like that movie World of Wars. How one of those chariots, all right, hit a person with that beam, and that person was pulverized, man, turned into powder. All right, turned into nothing. You know, that's what we see here. They burned that heard his voice, you see, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. Verse 5, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. All right, and that's something that Esau, Edom wants to put in movies. All right, so that when that time comes, even though people are going to be afraid, they're going to try and fight regardless. All right. Those militaries are going to turn their backs on World War III, all right, and they're going to focus on the new problem, all right, which is a problem to their society, which is the kingdom of heaven. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, all right. Verse 6, but I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. You see? For I would have seen the region or the place where the hill was graven, and I could not. So he was trying to see where that hill was actually placed, and he couldn't see where that hill was placed. Why? Because it was up in the sky, man. It's a chariot, you know, it's a huge chariot. You can't see where that mountain ends, or where it begins, or where it actually touches the earth. All right, because it was so exceeding great, it was actually floating up in the sky, man. And it was so big that it looked like it could have actually possibly touched the ground. That's how far away it extended, you know. It says, after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet durst fight. All right, you're going to fight for your lives if you're not in this truth, man. If you're not in this truth, you're going to be fighting for your life, and you're going to lose it. All right, but if you're in this truth, all right, if you're a sincere brother and you believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you're not going to be fighting for your life. The angels of the Most High will be fighting for your life, man. And even if they manage to take away your life, you're going to be quickened by the Spirit, and Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to take you up, you know. So you have nothing to lose by being in this truth, man, at all. Even though worldly things may be lost, all right, you really have nothing to lose. It says, and lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. All right? And that's talking about those UFOs that are going to come back, all right, after World War III, and then the elect are going to be saved, and then the elect are going to be taken up by these UFOs, all right, and then the UFOs are going to fight against the other nations, you know, and then those that remain out of all the other nations are going to be taken into captivity by the elect and Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and they're going to serve Israel, all right, and that's where I get Deuteronomy 33 and 26. It says, there is none like unto the God of Yasharawan, who rideth upon the heaven in thine help, and in his excellency on the sky. All right, what is the excellency of our nation? The salvation of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And how is that salvation going to come? Through the UFOs, man. The so-called UFOs, the chariots of Israel, man. It says, the eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms, and he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. You see, so that's the same thing that we're reading, man. He's going to destroy them, all right? And there's going to be nothing to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke, all right? Like burnt tires, that's what you're going to smell, you know? So here is Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. All right? A whirlwind. Like a whirlwind. What does a whirlwind do? It spins. All right? And when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. For their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. All right? So those rings is talking about the windows. All right? And they had eyes about them, because you can see inside of those windows, and it was the angels that were maneuvering these so-called UFOs, man. You know? That's why you have that song that Jake sang when they were in slavery, swing low, sweet chariot. You know? I looked over Jordan, what did I see? A sweet chariot coming forth to rescue me, or something like that. You know? Which are what? The UFOs, man. You know? These are exciting times, Akim. These are exciting times, man. When Yahweh Shem Yahushai comes back, cracks them clouds, and we've been waiting and going through hell and tribulation, and we've been fighting on for this truth, and we look up and see our salvation, all right, and we see our salvation draweth nigh, and we see Yahweh Shem Yahushai come back. We're going to rejoice, man. We're going to be happy. All right? We're going to be standing in that sea of glass. Let me see if that's the same one that it says. Sea of glass. And I think it was this one. Revelations 15. And let me start off at 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, the angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. For I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. All right, and that glass is where the elect are going to be looking down, in that fire is when the destruction of Babylon the Great happens. World War III. It says, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. You see, so we're going to be in that chariot, looking out of the chariot, looking down at the destruction. It says, verse 3, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Yahweh, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgment are made manifest. All right, so this is a future prophecy, man. World War III, the destruction of these other nations. All right, future prophecy, man. So for Vocab Malone to be making this video about, what's it called, UFOs and aliens and this and that just shows you who has the truth. All right, because he's speculating, and that other dude, Dr. Whatever, all right, he's speculating because they don't know. All right, but we know because the secrets were given unto us. All right, those are the chariots of Israel that are coming back to save the elect. All right, the elect of Israel. You see? So I hope that was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakudash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. Shalom to you brothers out there, pushing this word out in sincerity and in truth. And shalom.